Voices of Indy is brought to you by the Hoosier Original Music Association, also known as HUMAC. HUMAC and Visit Bloomington present the Songwriters Summer Series, live at Sleeper's Bar. This Tuesday, June 11th at 7 p.m., they'll be featuring songwriting luminaries Coot Crabtree, Chris Wolf, and Timothy J.W. Baker. This series is brought to you by WFHB, Visit Bloomington, and the Hoosier Original Music Association.
Hi guys, this is Sheluvzdax, and this is Voices of Indy.
Type to be the one to put the stress on you, mommy. I be trying to take it off when I'm caressing your body. I'm the youngin', so I know you wasn't expecting this power. She bent it over, threw it back, and put some pressure behind it. Shh.
And welcome back to Voices of Indy. I am excited for my next guest. We've been going back and forth for months now, trying to get him on the show, whether it's been his schedule, my schedule, the slowdown with VOI. But we finally got him. Ladies and gentlemen, Sheluvzdax. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you for being on the show.
Man,
glad we got you.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes. We are venturing back into the hip-hop R&B realm, and I'm excited to do that because we don't get a chance to do that too much here on Voices of Indy. So I'm very excited for this opportunity. This is a very... I consider you a very special guest.
Thank you.
So for those who may not be familiar with you, who is Sheluvzdax? Where have you come from? And how long have you been in the game?
Sheluvzdax is it's kind of like a open all around kid that, like, I'm grown now, but like I grew up and I'm still that kid that I was. Like, I still like to have the fun I used to have as a kid. Like, so I'm an artist that makes music based off like me having fun and other people having fun.
Yeah.
I'm a artist, so I do all kinds of music, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I've always had an open ear as a kid and growing up. So like that's what made me be the person I am today.
Who are your influences growing up?
As far as like
musically, like what were you listening to? What kind of got you charged up, like to really kind of step foot into the rap game?
I would say one of the most influential people were like Kevin Gates.
Okay.
He's like a real motivational speaker.
Okay.
He has a lot of intelligence, and like just listening to his music as well as like his podcast interviews and stuff like that, you could just tell that he had a lot of information that a lot of artists really don't have.
Yeah.
And he's kind of bright at making music. Like I can't really explain it.
Well, what are some of the things that have really kind of stuck out to you in terms of what you got from Kevin Gates?
He had a hard way of growing up, and a lot of kids like me could relate to someone like him. So it was kind of like when one of my older brothers put me on his music, it was kind of like, oh, I like his music. But once I dug deeper on my own, that's when I kind of like grasped toward him on music on my own level. Like, it just made me want to listen to him even more after I heard him speak.
Yeah.
And talk to a person on a podcast or interview anything on the radio. You would hear him talking. It would be like, how is this guy that intelligent? And that's what would make me want to grasp towards his music even more.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. It's great to have those kinds of influences be like so, like there, like be able to relate to them in ways that you can't relate to other people in certain ways. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about music is that it draws us into relating to people and to issues and to just situations differently than I think than if we didn't have music, honestly.
Yes. And a big thing was like from back then when I first was listening to him up till now, like a lot of his music when he first came out was him speaking on like problems and things he was going through in the past. But now if you listen to his music nowadays, it's kind of like more so peaceful. And it's like he's at peace with himself.
Yeah.
as well as his surroundings and everything he has going on in his life. So, like, when you listen to somebody like that and you understand their story 100%, it's kind of like we all chasing peace, and we all want peace at the end of the day.
I love that. We're all chasing peace.
So as an artist in my own shoes, it's kind of like I'm chasing that same thing in my own lane though.
Mm-hmm.
So I could definitely relate a lot with that.
Yeah. So are you originally from Indianapolis, or okay?
Yes, I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I grew up on the west side of Indianapolis, like
All right.
Hallville.
Oh,
Hallville
yeah.
area. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Long's Donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's right there at the front of Hawville.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So how has it been getting involved in the Indianapolis hip hop, rap, R&B scene?
Honestly, it's been a long road.
Really?
It's been a long, rough road at that. You have a lot of competition.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, when you in your own lane, you don't focus on the competition, because a wise man once told me, you can't compare where you can't compete. So if you feel like you're compatible with everybody else, you might as well be.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I am. So growing up and making music at first was kind of like just something I did for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I've grown up in music because my dad is a pianist.
All right.
And he plays organ as well. I grew up in church, so
yeah.
I already had the beat and stuff in my hands because I played drums. My mother was in a choir, so I always heard her sing tunes, and she always
grew
sung
up
with
in
me.
the church.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
So I have to give back to just church and like growing up in that vicinity, just because it taught me a lot and it got me through a lot, but also it brought me to making my own music.
Yeah.
So growing up in that house where everybody is musicians and makes music, it kind of just made me want to do it as well.
Yeah.
And I kind of already had the recipe. A lot of people, when they start making music, even at a young age like me, they don't have a family to bring them up in something like that. So I was blessed to be around my mom and have the mom and dad I had.
That's a really great story.
Thank you.
Just because it feels like, you hear a lot of similar stories within the, kind of the rap and hip hop game. But I mean, it seems like you're coming at it from a little bit of a different angle, but there are still things that you can still feel very, you can relate to that are the difficulties of life.
Oh yeah.
And you were talking a little earlier off camera that you've kind of come off some times of being in trouble.
Yeah.
And that really was helping you refocus.
Oh yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Are you okay with talking a little bit about that?
I'm
all right.
definitely fine with talking about that.
All right.
Actually, I got in a point in my life where a lot of people struggle. We all struggle at points and times in our lives. And I was at a time where I was struggling. A year and a half ago, I lost my girlfriend, which is tattooed on my right side of my eye. But after losing her, I went through a year and almost a year and a half of just like being lost kind of mentally. And when I started to find myself a little bit, I lost myself all over again because I started focusing on everything that didn't matter. And I'm one of the people in my family that's so-called the black sheep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like if you look at my family, everybody's kind of like goody two shoes, or it's like they really don't do anything or take no risk or chances. And I'm kind of that one that never listened. I've always did my own thing, and sometimes I've ended up in trouble from it. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now that I've grown up and I've been in kind of a deeper situation and deeper trouble, again, I've learned from them mistakes, and it took for me to get in trouble to refocus on myself and learn and understand like I'm worth way more.
Yeah.
And I understand my position, and I can't get knocked off my square, because if I do, there's a great chance that I may never get that opportunity again.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put myself, my career, nor my family's chances of being successful as a whole out the window.
No, I hear you. For those of you listening in, maybe even watching, just we got a family here, and that's okay. That is absolutely all right. It's an adorable little baby.
Shout
No
out to my
need to
baby.
apologize. Well, it's that's the beautiful thing about what you got going on, Dax, is that it is family. Like, tell me more about like this family inclusion. You have your cousin who is your manager.
That's a fact.
Tell me, like, just how important is it to have family be a part of this for you?
Well, I've been criticized, talked about, and it's been by family. But it was family I allowed to come around that wasn't around from the start.
Gotcha.
And my manager, my cousin Six specifically, he's been around since like we was his son size as toddlers. So like he knows me like the back of his hand. I know him like the back of mine. And it's very important to have somebody like him around because I know he shows me 100% loyalty. And I give him the same thing back. And he would do whatever. He would take the shirt off his back right now if I didn't have one and it was raining. And I would do the same thing with no question. So with somebody like that, it's kind of real important to have in your life as well as your career, because when you start to elevate in your career, a lot of people come around just because of your worth and what they see in you. You may not even see in yourself, but based off what they see in you, that will make them want to grasp towards you and come around you and be this and do this and that for you. So once I started, probably around 15 or 16, once I started having managers and stuff like that, I started to understand that people want stuff from you, stuff that you don't see in yourself. And I went around some bumps in the road, and I lost them managers. I lost contact of them people that always was around me for the wrong reasons. And somehow he just always been there. Like whether he was my manager or not, he still was always with me. And over time, I just like we came together, and I told him like, I trust you enough, and I think that this would be perfect for you to have something to do like with what I have going on, especially when I started the group Get Rich Quick with my brother.
Is that where the GRQ comes from?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So once we started Get Rich Quick, it was kind of like it was a family. It was us, but it was my cousin as well and a few of my other brothers. But we all grew up together, and we all been friends and family for 10 plus years. Each one of us can go over each one of our houses when one another is not there, and they'll treat us just as if whoever is not there was there. Feed you, give you a place to stay, whatever. So we a real family. Like it's more than just looking like we family on camera or friends on camera. You know what I mean?
No, you guys are tight. Right?
Yeah. And Get Rich Quick is actually a double entendre. It's Get Rich Quick, like, yeah, the money schemes and stuff like that, but like it's Get Rich Quick, like mentally. Like we was rich in the mind before any type of physical cash or any type of riches came.
That is like uncannily healthy for honestly someone so young. 'Cause I mean, you know, even probably when I was your age, the dollar signs were in the eyes.
Yep.
And gosh, how old are you?
I just turned 24.
Seriously?
April 24th.
Oh my goodness, I wasn't even married when I was 25 by the time I got married. But I mean, my goodness, when I was 24, yeah, I don't feel like I even had the kind of solid head that you have on your shoulders.
I was luckily, not luckily, but I was lucky to have certain older people who taught me things at a younger age. You know, some people teach kids stuff at an early age and then they grow up too fast. I was probably one of them kids that just like was a sponge to what was good for me rather than what was bad, and I knew the difference between good and bad. So once I became a sponge to the right things, it kind of put me down the right road.
Yeah.
And although I've been down the right road, I've still made wrong turns. So it's not to say
we all do, man.
It's not to say that nobody's perfect or anything, but definitely chasing the right things rather than the wrong.
That. Yeah. Again, I feel like life has been out there to teach you some lessons. And,
That's a fact.
And what is amazing about that whole aspect is that you've actually been attentive to those lessons, whereas some people would just be like, screw it, I'm just going to continue going on.
That's a fact.
And they won't learn.
Yeah, no.
And I think that there is, so the episode that I recorded before you will actually air after you. But one of my guests on that podcast was talking about the importance of how a rising tide can lift all boats. And that seems to be what you're looking for, what you're striving for, is to lift all those boats, all the boats around you.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, he was talking about it in terms of collaboration and whatnot, but I mean, that still applies. I mean, because he eventually did take kind of that not a familial turn, but just still that the fact that if you want to grow, as a musician, as an artist, as anything,
as a human being,
yeah. A lot of that is in the spirit of collaboration,
Yes, sir.
and it just makes you a better human being. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And in terms of everything else. So
Shorty got her own up, but I don't know what she on. But at the same time, I don't put trust in these hoes. No, not again. No, not again. No, not again. No, not again. I ain't the type to be the one to put the stress on you, mommy. I be trying to take it off when I'm caressing your body. I'm the youngin', so I know you wasn't expecting this power. She bent it over, threw it back, and put some pressure behind it. Flipped her over, I'm on it. I ain't even say too much, cause you can say how you want it. It's like 3 in the morning. She won't be in the moment. She call me toxic, but girl, look how you screaming. Shorty got her own up, but I don't know what she on. But at the same time, I don't put trust in these hoes. No, not again. No, not again. No, not again. No, not again.
So, I'm seeing a lot of correlations between my 2 episodes for this month, even though the music couldn't be further apart. That's what's so interesting.
Yeah.
That's what's so cool. I mean, this is what life teaches us. This is what music teaches us.
yeah.
So tell me real quick, because we're doing good on time.
Okay.
But I want to talk a little bit about the tracks that you're performing for us.
Okay.
Now, again, big plug for my Patreon page, because Sheluvzdax gave us 3 tracks.
3 today.
3 today, but only 2 are gonna be on the podcast. You got to join Patreon to get that 3rd. So check out patreon.com/voices of Indy. There are a bunch of different tiers. But before that, we want to talk to you about your songs. So like I said, you performed 3. Let's talk about them in order. Let's talk about Not Again.
Okay.
Which you started off with that track. That's one that will be featured on the show. Depending on how I edit it, you may have already seen it. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? But that seemed to be a collaboration. But you wrote the song. Tell me about Not Again.
So Not Again is it's a track for kind of like everybody, rather than referencing it for just hip hop or pop music. It's a vibey song. So like basically, we're learning to have fun with music rather than take it so serious. Although we do take it serious and our production and our work serious, we just kind of like want to have more groovy music and vibey music. So Not Again is kind of like one of those tracks where we're trying to figure out how to make the ladies dance
Gotcha.
but along with the men.
Yeah.
So
it's a dance track. But
yeah,
it's for everybody.
So basically the sounds that people make nowadays is like it's either men rapping and talking stuff about women, or it's women that's rapping talking stuff about men, and it's like we playing a game, see who makes the best song talking stuff about each other. Not Again was kind of like one of those tracks where we're men and we're talking to a woman. And this is like something that a man can say to a woman to, you know what I'm saying? If he wants to talk to this woman, he thinks she's cute or whatever on the dance floor, he'll probably make his move.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a smooth song to the point where everybody can kind of have a good time.
Yeah. No, I dig it. That's what you want. You want to have that kind of track where it's for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, listening to you perform to it is, I mean, you're tight. Your writing is tight. The production is tight. Tell me a little bit about the production process of that song. Like, what went into that?
Really just, I would say 2 hours of studio time. That was
quick then.
Oh yeah, I make my music based off like how I'm feeling when I go in the studio, rather than I don't write music and then go in the studio anymore. I kind of go in the studio. I have a list of beats that I want to listen to, and they may be all over the place, different genres and stuff like that. But I'll figure out what I'm feeling in that moment. And
so you're telling me, I'm sorry to cut you off, but you're telling me in 2 hours you had no song, but you listened to some beats.
Yes, sir.
And you wrote it on the spot and then recorded it?
Yes, sir.
Holy cow, that's amazing.
And sometimes I won't even write it. I'll listen to it. I'll listen to the beat, the instrumental, probably about 4 or 5 times. I'll think of 4 or 5 different flows of how I want the song to go.
Yeah.
Once I get the melody of the chorus, I'll put the words to the chorus. Once I get the chorus and the words, I'll lay the chorus down. So I'll go record the chorus. Once I lay the chorus down, I'll be done figured out what I want the song to be about. So see, basically I get my subject of the full song based off the chorus and what I'm talking about in the chorus. That's kind of the thing that keeps on replaying in people's heads. And that's the kind of the catchy part of every song if you pay attention. Once I get the chorus, the verse, I run through the verse every time, but I make sure that it's laid correctly, properly. I make sure it's a full body chorus, like how a story has a beginning, middle, and end. I kind of just basically do it like that.
Are you your own producer, or do you work with someone else?
I work with a few producers. I do know how to make beats myself.
Okay, yeah.
That's a thing that a lot of people don't know, but I do have a lot of friends that make beats and are producers. Shout out to my boy Rackite. He's in Europe right now. He sends me beats from there. I just talked to him earlier. He said he was going to send me a pack this week. Nice. I have a boy here. His name is Billy. And I have another boy, his name is Malik. They make a lot of my beats from Indianapolis, Indiana. That we've actually went viral on a couple of our songs that I've did with them.
No way.
Oh, yeah. All over YouTube, definitely. So
nice.
If you guys are listening, y'all might want to go check them out as well.
Yeah.
Another producer.
Send me some links to those. I'll be sure to put those in the notes to the podcast.
Oh, definitely. And last but not least, I want to give a big shout out to one of my other cousins. He's a long lost family member because we really don't talk today. But I love him so much and I got so much faith in him that I gotta shout him out for like pushing me to get to where I am today. He goes by the name of Fresh Does It. A lot of sleepless nights in the studio, him making beats, us just rapping to his beats, but he actually went platinum with NLE Choppa.
Wow.
Yeah, he went platinum with him as well as a few other big industry artists. I gotta give him his props. He showed me how to make beats, tried to give me some placements as well, so I gotta give him a big shout out, even though, you know what I'm saying, we not on the greatest of terms right now and haven't been talking. I have to give him his props where
No,
they do.
absolutely. Everyone's got to get their due.
Yes, sir.
So, gosh, so many other questions, but I want to continue on like addressing your songs.
Okay.
The second track that you did, which I've noticed that the songs that you've done, they are, and this is a debate that I have with my kids, and a debate that I see all over the internet is just like how long a song should be these days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm old, so I like, my longer songs.
Okay.
But I would say that yours tend to fall a little bit on the longer, oh, maybe right, actually not on the longer end. Actually, probably right about right. A little between 2 minutes and 2:30.
2.5.
Yeah.
I understand it. In this day and age, this generation, my generation, we really don't have a long attention span.
Mm-hmm.
So I try not to make the songs too long. Like back in the day, you could find songs that are 5 and 4 minutes long.
Oh yeah.
So like it's just them.
It was like a true story. I think about there's a lot of similarities, I want to say, between old school country western music and old school hip hop. Mm-hmm. In that, and by old school, I'm not talking 80s. I'm actually 90s.
90s.
But there's a lot of storytelling.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Yes.
Of storytelling. And to the point where most people would probably consider a lot of those albums today concept albums.
Yeah.
Just because there's like one singular story going on throughout the entire album.
Yep.
I think of Enter the Wu-Tang.
Mm-hmm.
I think of is it Life is Death? I'm gonna Biggie's last album.
Yep. It's life. It's life or death.
Life or Death.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one with the baby on the cover.
Yep.
Yeah. I can listen to those albums, and it's like there's just like this singular storyline that's kind of going through all of them, and you throw in the skits and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that still a thing?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My big brother, he's like he taught me a lot about the story of Biggie Smalls and Tupac. Mm-hmm. But like he's a 90s baby, so he's real big on the music that was popping in the 90s and 80s. Mm-hmm. But he just dropped a album not too long ago. It was called Native Son. Mm-hmm. My brother Dalo Ramones. In that album, he has a lot of skits.
Okay.
And stuff like that before the track starts or when it ends. Mm-hmm. But like it all correlates to the album itself. It may be from different movies, different shows, stuff like that, but it all correlates to the same thing in the album. And he taught me a lot about writing as well. So
very cool.
Gotta give him a shout out too. But that definitely, I would say people still do that. Like that be needed.
Yeah.
Like without the music that he makes, in which the music he makes is kind of like, it gives me an old school vibe, like back in the 90s. Mm-hmm. But like we still need that because history repeats itself. Mm-hmm. So although we doing all this new generational music, we still need that old school, and the generation before us, some people are still in there and artists are still in there that need to be heard today.
Yeah. We've totally gotten off course, but at the same time, still talked about music, which is awesome. But I want to get back to your tracks.
Okay.
You have your Crew remix.
Oh yeah.
And you have sorry, I'm already spacing on the other song. The name of it, not the. All I remember is that while you're performing, I'm back here bopping.
Oh yeah.
That's what I remember.
I definitely seen you.
Yeah.
But Crew Mix is kind of like, it was one of them songs where I didn't write anything. I went in a studio and I listened to the beat for probably about 5-6 times, and I told my engineer I was just ready. Mm-hmm. And I went in there, I threw the headphones on, and I told him to punch every time that I stopped. And it was basically how I felt at the time being, I felt a certain type of way because I just came back from being in trouble. And a lot of people had doubted me. A lot of people didn't believe that I was going to bounce back from what I went through. A lot of people don't bounce back from what I went through. So it was kind of like one of them times where a lot of people that claim they love me lost faith in me.
Sure.
So I talked a little bit of smack on that song, and that's why.
Is that your diss track?
I wouldn't call it a diss. It was just like I felt the way, and I let my emotions, speak on the song.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a ha-ha to them type of people because I got the last laugh. I bounced back greater than I was before I went and got in trouble.
Dude, and you dropped a whole album last month.
Yes, sir.
So be sure to check that out. You can find it at Spotify. Sorry, we got a fly in here.
No, you're fine.
You can find it at Spotify, streaming anywhere, pretty much. But look for GRQ Official. That's where you're gonna find Sheluvzdax.
Yes, sir.
You find that, you'll find his songs. And now you also just dropped a new one on Friday. Now, so this is airing if I get this done right, this is airing Monday the 10th. And so you dropped something on Friday the 7th. Tell us a little bit about that song.
So the song that dropped and released Friday was One More Dance. This song is like, I'm a TikTok influencer.
All right.
I have over 3 million views on TikTok. So
No way.
A lot of kids and a lot of people watch me on TikTok. I have a few fans on there as well, and I've gained a lot of fans just from posting videos and stuff. But I've learned over the last year that I had a big influence on TikTok and the people on there. So I started to learn the dances and stuff that would go viral on TikTok, the little hip dances and stuff. I started learning it, and at first I thought it was whack. I only thought it was whack because I didn't know how to do it.
Okay.
And so now that I know how to do it, everybody around me says that it's whack because they don't know how to do it.
Oh.
So it's actually a funny thing. My girlfriend that passed, she watched me go viral on there for the first time, but she also used to laugh at me because I couldn't do the dance, but I was trying. I just looked real goofy doing it.
Oh man, I swear if I did any TikTok dances, it'd be.
But I swear, if I'm lying, I'm dying. She was the one that told me. She was the same person. She laughed at me, but she was the same person that told me when I was about to give up on it. She was like, "No, that's you. You can do it." She was like, if you take that serious and you actually put some work and thought into it, that's gonna be your lane. And it became my lane. So once I went viral a time or two after that, I just thought like I need to make an album based off all TikTok songs.
All right, yeah.
So I would hear certain sounds played that would go viral on TikTok that I would hear over and over and over in a day, and I'd take that song or that instrumental and I'd be like, all right, we're gonna use this. We got 7 of them songs, and then that's when I started to write. Me and my brother Corday, we started to write to each one over and over and over again. We did it until we got it right. And we have about 10 songs, 10 or 11 songs like that, but only 7 of them made the mixtape to make it.
Sure, yeah.
So once we got them songs, it was like, okay, well, after we drop this tape, we need to figure out what video we're shooting first. The first song that came to mind was One More Dance. And it's actually funny because One More Dance was the last song we made to that tape.
Isn't that funny how that works?
Yes. It was crazy. But it was like, this is the one. So we thought of the plot of the video. And I talked to my boy Jay Boogie, the one that shoots videos. And we kind of just formulated a plot on it, and it was like, man, I know exactly what I want to do. I want to get kids involved. I want to get grown-ups involved. I want everybody to have fun, like genuine fun. Yeah. And that's exactly what we did. That's awesome. I even brought a dance group to the video shoot just so we could have a dance off. But we all had fun. It was no like, in the video, it's kind of like we acting and we having competition, but we had no real competition there. I made sure everybody had fun. Yeah. And we did the damn thing.
Well, I gotta say this: we've kind of come to the close of the show. This has been such a fun conversation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But something that I've started doing here recently was getting people's advice. You know, what advice would you offer to any artist who happens to be watching this, or to any aspiring artist out there?
The biggest and the best information that I could give and advice that I could give is to be yourself. Like, there's gonna be a lot of people that come and try to push you to do this or push you to do that, or what they want you to do or what they think you should do. People gonna give you opinions all your life and anything you do, but the main thing is to be you. A lot of things can knock you off to make you think you're something else, or make you want to be something else that you're not. But at the end of the day, just follow whatever God gives you, and whatever he tells you or shows you that's your lane, stick to that lane and follow pursuit. Because if you do anything different, he'll show you why you wasn't supposed to do that. And again, we get knocked off our square sometimes. Nobody's perfect, but it'll always, whatever happens, when you sit down, whatever you get in trouble, if you get in trouble, if you lose, whatever, God will always show you what you were destined to do. And sometimes he switches it. So you may think you're supposed to do one thing in life, and then you may take a turn and be good or great at something else. But no matter what, as long as you stay yourself, you'll find it.
That's tremendous advice. That is tremendous advice. Ladies and gentlemen, Sheluvzdax. Follow him on all the socials, especially Instagram and TikTok.
Please.
You can find his music on streaming services at GRQ Official.
Yes, sir.
Dax, thank you so much for being on the show this week.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We're going to close out with one of his tracks. And be sure to keep on watching, guys. In the coming weeks, we'll have Limestone Nomad, Phoebe Godfrey, Joel Greg, Naptown Hepcats. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of stuff happening here on Voices of Indy. The show must go on. Thank you so much, Dax.
Thank you too, Josh.
All right. We'll see you guys again next week. Bye.
Ladies, would you bounce to this?
Put up your hands, us versus your friends. One more dance. It's me and Twin, walked in with bands. Little baby, call your friends. Put up your hands, us versus your friends. One more dance. It's me and Twin, walked in with bands. Little baby, call your friends. You might lose a limb tonight, tryna battle against the clique. You know we come to tram tonight. Wonder why the hoes on 10, baby. In there, I'ma get it. In there. It's where, it's there. Don't fear it, come here. No traffic, switch gears. Oh, lighting, up here. Girl, you ain't got no time to fear. Girl, shake that to this music. When you dance, we gotta stare. When we dance, they gon' do it. Never catch a solo when we pop out. Know we out on cruise shit. He don't got no Sheluvsdax. I think I'm about to make it. Well, I'm about to break the dance floor in this bitch because I'm really stupid. Get up out the way and let me get him. I'ma fucking do it. Yeah. Party. I know that you feeling naughty. Got me hot, I'm feeling honey. Right after the party. We can really get it started. I know that you feeling naughty. Baby, fill up on your body. I know that you feeling naughty. Baby, fill up on your body. Put up your hands, let's verse your friends. One more dance. It's me and Twin, walked in with bands. Little baby, call your friends. Put up your hands, let's verse your friends. One more dance. It's me and Twin, walked in with bands. Little baby, call your friends.
Put your lips on mine, let's get it started. It's just you and I.
Why not take a shot? Oh, God.